Attention shoppers, the new Atari cartridge game is in.
Dear consumer, imagine a trip to your local retailer and you're surprised as you take a turn in the electronics department only to see the sticker price on a brand new PS5 being set at $945. Crazy to think, right? Take a trip with me as we cross the hazy intersection where nostalgia and price inflation meet as we take a look at 5 consoles: the Atari 2600, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Sega Genesis, the PlayStation 1, and the Xbox 360, as we discuss not only these consoles, but what the pop culture landscape looked like back when they were released in North America. So let's jump on in. The year is 1977, and Star Wars mania has taken the world by storm. On the radio, the Bee Gees are Staying Alive. And on a toilet, Elvis has died. This year saw the Apple II computer hit the market and also the release of the Atari 2600. This second-generation console had 128 bytes of RAM, an 8-bit CPU, and retailed at its time of launch for $189.95. A modest sum today for cutting-edge technology. However, when adjusting the price with the Consumer Price Index, or CPI inflation calculator, to the same buying power in 2023, that would equal $945.70. To put that in context, that is almost twice as much as what you would be paying for an Xbox Series X or a PS5 for this classic system. Just think of that the next time you might run across one of these collecting dust in your parents' basement. This console did something remarkable, though, for its time. It brought the arcade experience into people's homes and played host to a score of legendary hits from Pac-Man to Space Invaders, Asteroids, Defender, Pitfall, Donkey Kong, and oh yeah, let's not forget E.T. Jumping ahead to 1985, beloved 80s classics were being released left and right, including hits such as Back to the Future, The Goonies, Teen Wolf, the Nintendo Entertainment System, and New Coke. Well, 4 out of 5 isn't bad, in a year where Madonna was putting out hit after hit like Material Girl, Like a Virgin, and Crazy for You. Nintendo entered the North American gaming market with their redesigned Famicom, and it made history.
Will you be the one to witness the birth of the incredible Nintendo Entertainment System?
This 8-bit, third-generation console brought the home video game market back to life and is often considered the greatest video game console of all time. You know it, you love it, and you all aggressively blew on its cartridges to get them to work. But what you might not know is at the time of its North America release in 1985, the console retailed for $179.99. That deluxe set included 2 controllers, 2 games, the NES Zapper, and Rob the Robot. This one, not that one. Entering that price into the inflation calculator, at the time of making this video, that would equal $445.33. A much more reasonable price than the Atari 2600 had been 8 years earlier, and keeping in line with what a new console retails for in 2023. This console would also have various releases in the following years that would offer a variety of accessories that would lead to an even more affordable price. And the NES? Well, it would go on to play the host of too many countless classics, such as Super Mario Bros., Duck Hunt, The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Mega Man, Castlevania, Contra, Final Fantasy, and well, the list goes on and on and on. But Nintendo weren't the only ones releasing home consoles in the 1980s, and in 1989, Sega released their 4th generation 16-bit console in North America, the Sega Genesis. While Tim Burton's Batman had released that summer and Prince was busy teaching us how to bat dance. The Sega Genesis hit store shelves in October with a price tag of $189, a price which now would equate to $469, yet again being comparable to what the price of a new high-end console would be today. In the same year that the new kids on the block were hanging tough and Milli Vanilli were telling you that, girl, you know it's true. Sega had released the console that would make a blue hedgehog a household name and would go on to give the Super Nintendo some real competition, fighting for a place on Christmas lists everywhere after the 1991 release of the SNES. And even though the Super Nintendo would go on to win this console war, selling over 15 million units more than the Genesis, we'll always have Aladdin to keep the debate alive over what was the superior 16-bit console. Well, 1995 saw the returns of some greats, like Michael Jordan to the NBA, Batman to the cinemas, and Hootie and the Blowfish back to the top of the charts. It also marked the introduction of Sony into the home console market, born out of an initial failed partnership with Nintendo to bring a CD-ROM drive add-on to the SNES. Sony then took it upon themselves to develop their own console, and in 1995 they released the Sony PlayStation to the North American market. The PS1 would be home to classic titles such as Tomb Raider, Crash Bandicoot, Tekken, Metal Gear Solid, Gran Turismo, Final Fantasy VII, and Parappa the Rapper. When the PS1 first launched, it came with a price tag of $299. Adjusted for inflation, the console would retail in 2023 for nearly $600. This sticker price didn't slow the PlayStation down, though, as this fifth-generation console would go on to outsell Nintendo's N64, with the PS1 selling 100 million units compared to the N64 selling less than 33 million. Traveling out of the 90s, past Y2K, and into the year 2005 brings us to the final console on our list, the Xbox 360. In the same year that YouTube was founded.
Alright, so here we are in front of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
50 Cent was visiting the candy shop, and Batman was beginning yet again. Microsoft launched their 7th generation console into the market for the price of $399 for the 20GB version and $299 for the core version. That corresponds to $617.26 and $462.56 respectively in 2023 money. But hard drive or no, this console had it all. Gears of War, Halo 3, and the Red Ring of Death. Yep, that was this Xbox. This hardware malfunction was found to be linked to an issue with the cracking of soldering joints in the console, which the Microsoft Xbox team went on to correct with redesigned models. But beyond hardware malfunctions, the Xbox 360 would have to duke it out with the competing consoles of that generation, the Nintendo Wii and the PlayStation 3, and ultimately the 360 would come in third when it came to the consoles sold. However, this console is considered a trailblazer with its integration of new online features, with Xbox Live innovations that enhance the overall console experience for gaming and beyond. The Xbox 360 paved the way with many online features that are commonplace in modern consoles today.
And you are now part of the Xbox 360 family. Welcome.
And so that rounds out our look at these consoles. They say $1 doesn't go as far as it used to, but allow me one last scenario. In 1965, a brand new Ford Mustang cost less than $3,000. A gallon of gas to fill it up 30 cents, and average house prices were going for roughly $20,000. It seems that the price of everything has only gone up and up. But consider this. Also in 1965, RCA launched their new, more economical Victor Color TV line starting at $399.95, or approximately $3,800 in today's money. This was the going price for an economical television, much like what we saw with the Atari 2600, which would retail for over $900 if it came out now. It is wild what this revolutionary tech would go for. As time has gone by and successive console generations have come and gone, it appears that the adjusted price has settled in at around the $500 mark, similar to what a 9th generation console PS5 or Xbox Series X would go for today. And sure, looking at a TV from the 60s or a console from the 70s, it may seem absurd that they were so expensive, but when considering their novelty, their cost to manufacture, and the excitement that they generated at their time.
In our home there's color now. Wow! We own color TV.
It really becomes easier to understand why they commanded such hefty price tags. And as for me, Seeing the adjusted price of something like the Atari 2600 has made me gain a whole new level of respect for this cutting-edge technology of its day.